The guilt and the shame that emerges with the seeming vulnerability of what we perceive as sickness in the body, an experience of not feeling well, is an incredibly intimate and heart-opening potential moment. And we're apt to take it as a condemnation that we are in fact guilty. We're all very familiar with the idea that the world cannot tell you who you are. This made-up universe of smoke and mirrors cannot tell you the truth of who you are. It can, however, poke at you and say, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Oh, look at these circumstances. Who do you think you are? And it asks again and again for the conviction in the mind and any beliefs that doubt and any desires for otherness that come up to be clearly seen. And so we're asked once and for all to decide who we are and what we would accept to be true about ourselves. And the accuser will appear in many forms, and none so familiar as our seeming character selves. It is our own degrading doubt thoughts that will cause us the most suffering, our own internal condemnation of not living up to our own standards of what we consider to be spiritual, healthy, whole. There's no difference between what looks like a sick body on the screen and what looks like a healthy body on the screen. They are not reflections of a state of mind. They are not who you are. And if you want one very clear, easy to remember, definitive moment in your mind so that you never forget this once again, is what kind of a demonstration of a raised mind does Jesus on a cross look like? Well, to me, it looks like this. Can't see my arms, they're wide out here, but it says, even like this, you can't tell me who I am. This is not who I am. This is not who you are. You can play out anything you need to inform. You can have and demonstrate any misguided happenings, and it won't change one moment the love I have for you, the truth of who you are, and where you are with your Father in heaven. So the trick of the light is that no matter what's happening out here, and yet watching that we have a preference that it look one way versus another way, the experience you're having is under your control. Now, not the form, not whether the leg looks straight or bent, broken, and not whether the face looks pretty or contorted on a different day. You have no control over the form. What you have control over is your state of mind and your experience of what you perceive you're seeing. The thinker and the thought are one. It's happening simultaneously. There isn't separate cause and effect out here. It's all one illusion. And the emotions of the ego and the thoughts of the ego and the beliefs of the ego and the desires of the ego are all the same package deal. It's where this perceptual world is coming from. So you don't want to get stuck on thinking, and Course in Miracles students are like the worst for this. You don't want to get stuck in thinking that a healthy reflection of a person in the world is a reflection of a state of mind. Because then which of the 7 billion is it you're picking to be you in this moment? And as long as this one's looking healthy and shiny over here and that one isn't over there, then that's okay, because you're not that and you are this. So you can see it's an entire trick. All healing is in mind. All correction is an identity correction. And so it's so easy and so compelling, and I so understand that you get stuck and glued onto the screen because what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. Yes, you are. Stop looking to the screen though to tell you how well you're doing, and look to your experience and your state of mind as the soul recognition, how you feel, And this is beyond the egoic fluctuating feelings. It's like a stepped back awareness of what's true and what's real. While things may seem to fluctuate, there can be this still point that comes that's witnessing to all of it. You're not asked to pretend. You're not asked to say that you don't feel pain. You're not asked to pretend that you're not experiencing suffering of some kind. You're just asked to not fall for the trick that says it's because you've done something wrong. You're simply mistaken in what you're seeing, and you're mistaken in the guilt that you're laying upon yourself. It doesn't matter if it's primary or secondary guilt. Primary being, I did this and it's caused my leg to be broken, or secondary guilt, whereas I must be wrong-minded in my mind and it's my fault. There's still some personal sense of identity there that needs to be questioned, that isn't for you. And so it's further back we must step. It's deeper into this relationship with Jesus. It's deeper into this intimacy with the Holy Spirit that says, oh, look, I don't know what's going on here. I just don't feel good. And leaving it at that. Really leaving it at that and expecting that that's sufficient to be helped. Just like you're a small 2-year-old. We get so complex, so complicated in what we think is required of us that we forget to ask for help. It is the primary purpose of the Holy Spirit in your life is to be the comforter. The one you can go to ask for help, and you say, I don't know what's going on here. I don't understand. Help me, please. I don't feel good. That is a very open state of mind. And that open state of mind can be helped immediately because there is no blocks. There is no decisions. There is no interpretation of what's happening and what's right or wrong. There's no moral judgments here. There's no shoulds and have-tos. There's no scale of evolvement or spiritual enlightenment or development or anything. You're not even scoring yourself on the 6 stages of the development of trust anymore. You're just going, I need help here. And that's all I want in this moment. I want peace instead of this. And the Spirit will help you see what you've got a tight grip on. The Spirit will help you see what this is, the desire in the mind that you won't let go of. And you know what? It could be simply to want to be a good Course in Miracles student. It could simply want to be a good person in the world, a person who looks like they're good in the world. And don't mistake that we equate good with healthy, and we equate innocent with beautiful. And we have all these associations that need to be questioned. Good person in the world who everyone recognizes and witnesses to is good. 100 years ago, good was fat. 100 years hence, good is thin. It's fashion. So let's not be falling for the fashion statement of the day as to what the world says. Oh, well, you've got this, this, and this within. You must be loved by God and taken care of, and you're good. Let's not fall for it anymore. Let's step back into a serene experience of being loved and happy for no earthly reason and taken care of no matter what seems to be unfolding before you, no matter what seems to be befalling your body. Guess what? You're not responsible for your body. You're responsible for your state of mind. Guess what? You're not responsible for your mortgage. You're responsible for your state of mind. And following guidance means, first of all, coming into the comforter and saying you need this help. The comforter that wants to bring this peace and this comfort to you first. And if there's any activity to come from there, then it may appear guided. But what you are being guided to do is to come into that comforting feeling first. That it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not now and has never been your fault. What's happening around, seemingly to you, it's not your fault. Nor are you a victim of the situation. You are just mistaken. And so go to the comforter who can very gently, without fear of reprisal, take the guilt away in a moment so that you can see clearly how it's not your fault and yet how it is your responsibility. And it's a happy responsibility to take. It will just mean one thing: being mistaken about everything you think and think you see. Mistaken and happy.